yourself.
Yeah, we're back in black, playing more Pathfinder today. We have another guide for unfair difficulty. It's the Stalwart Defender, Dragon Disciple, Armored Hulk, Ranger, Spawn Slayer, Vivisectionist, Sorcerer. Also known as the Strength Monster. I think that's a shorter and easier name to remember. So what's the Strength Monster about? Well, it's about getting a lot of strength, getting a lot of attack rating, and be able to solo kill even the highest and most difficult bosses in the game. Now keep in mind that the clip that you see here where we're fighting Narissa, we're actually fighting her when she has her flat-footed AC, which is just 44, which is quite easy to hit. I mean, anything can hit if it's flat-footed, but we can also hit her without flat-footed. If she's not flat-footed, she has an armor rating of 61, which we can easily hit with our attack bonus of 57. But we can even buff this up even further because there's a bug currently in the game where we can go into our Stalwart Defender stance. I haven't done this here because I wanted to show this off. Maybe this gets patched out or something. So I wanted to do like a clean a clean run where I don't use this bug. But if I use that bug, I can get even higher attack rating. I can also go out of power attack, and that way, even though if I'm fighting her without her being flat-footed and without her even with her being buffed up, I can still hit her. So that's quite amazing. I can see here we also have the sacred bonus plus 10 from Guarded Hearth, and that comes from the mega buffer. As you can see, we have a lot of great buffs, and this comes from our special buff class, which is going to be the next video. But for this video, we're gonna focus on the Strength Monster. Also, if you want to see this fight in its entirety, I will leave that in at the end of the video. You can just go there if you want to see the entire fight. That being said, let's jump into the video. So, let's go about creating this Strength Monster. I'm gonna walk you through level 1 to 16. We're gonna stop at level 16 because I think that level 16 is about the level where most people will end their runs usually. So that's where we're gonna end. Also, I think Barbarian is quite a nice class to begin as. Probably not the best. I think Monk is probably the best class in the beginning if you want to have the easiest early game as possible. But I think Barbarian is still fine since they have the rage and everything. And here we're gonna go with an Armored Hulk. We could go with the regular Barbarian because they start off with, or they can get Uncanny Dodge at level 2, and we're actually gonna pick up 2 level of Barbarian. But since we're going to get Uncanny Dodge from Stalwart Defender, we don't really need it, and instead it's better to go for Armored Hulk to get armor proficiency and a little bit of speed we're also gonna get from Armored Swiftness, which is something, I guess. So we're going into Armored Hulk, and then we're gonna go with the Motherless. The most important thing about the Motherless is that they get +2 strength, and that they also get the Blur spell, and that they get the bite attack. Blur is quite nice because you get a little bit of concealment bonus. It's very nice to have an extra bite attack since we have such insane strength and such an insane attack rating. Even the bite attack is very likely going to hit, even though it has a minus penalty to use. It will very often hit with the bite attack, so it's nice having an extra attack. Then we, of course, gonna go 20 strength. It's a strength monster after all. And the mental thing is not it's not where we're at with the strength monster, as the monster might, or the name might suggest. We're gonna go 16 strength, I'm gonna go 14 constitution. And here it's also important that you pick up knowledge arcana, and this is so that we can go into Dragon Disciple later on. For abilities, we're kind of free with this build. We don't need to go into some exact abilities, but there's 2 things that we actually need for Stalwart Defender, and that's going to be toughness and dodge. So we're gonna pick up toughness because I think it's a quite nice level 1 feat. We'll have a little bit more HP, even though on unfair difficulty we will get to one shot very often still yet. But even though we're a barbarian with toughness and high constitution, we'll still get one shot. But it's nice to have a little bit of extra toughness in the beginning, especially since you have like, that's like the difference between having 12 HP or having 15 HP. So it's quite a, if you think percentage wise, it's quite an increase. Then go with whatever you feel like. We're gonna name you the Strength Monster. Any alignment here is fine also. Doesn't matter.
We will be victorious.
Complete. And then the second level, we're gonna actually go into Alchemist. We're gonna go into Vivisectionist. Why do we choose Vivisectionist? Well, the reason for this is that the Vivisectionist get a sneak attack die, which the regular Alchemist does not get. And also we're not going to use the bombs, so we didn't read a regular Alchemist, but we still get access to the mutagen. So that's what we want from the Vivisectionist. Because this, now we have Rage, and we can get +4 from our mutagen, so we can have an insane attack bonus. So now even though we're early game, if we have someone, a competent buffer in our team, or 2, we're probably gonna be able to hit stuff even in the early game from time to time. Even though it's very hard to play as a melee character. By the way, if you want to check out how to complete the early game as a melee character, then check the link down in the description. We're gonna continue with Knowledge Arcana. We're also gonna go for Athletics. The reason that we go for Athletics is that there are a couple of combat checks actually in this game where it requires you to have a decent enough... There's an Athletics checks that you need to pass. Is what I'm trying to say, in very weird ways. So here we got the mutagen, so that we can drink to get some extra strength. And we got the sneak attack die, which is always nice to have. Then we're gonna go into Ranger. And we're gonna go with the regular Ranger. I don't see any real reason to go into any other Ranger. If you see one, then let me know. Gonna pick up more Knowledge Arcana and more Athletics. And from the Ranger, we're gonna get a favored enemy. And for this, let's see here. Okay, first we're gonna get an ability. Here I would probably go Weapon Focus, and hopefully at this point we'll have found a Falcon. You could go for something else. You can go for a Great Axe, go for anything you like. I just happen to have a Falcon in my inventory with +5 and keen, so I quite like that weapon. But if you have something else, then go with that. We're gonna go favored enemy, and we're gonna go humans, which is the best one to pick up. If you only want to be good at the last boss, then yes, pick up favored enemy Fae, because Nerissa is a Fae creature. But for regular fights, then humans is better. I'm gonna pick up humans here. Then we're actually gonna go into Slayer, and we're gonna go into Slayer. Why are we picking up so many different things, you ask? Well, one of the reasons is that they all have an attack bonus of 1, so we don't lose out on anything by going into all these different classes. And also, the first level that you pick on a class are gonna give you more to your Fortitude save, Will save, and Reflex save, more than if you spec into only one class. You will, though, if you only spec into one class, have the benefit that you will get a little bit more HP, but I think that the higher saves are better than having a little bit more HP. So here we're gonna go with this boss, but it doesn't matter what you go with. You can go with any subclass of the Slayer should do here. This is just to get the studied target, so that we get even more of a benefit. We have favored enemy, we have studied target, we have rage, we have the alchemical bonus, we have everything stacked in our favor. More athletics, more knowledge arcana, and our first point of strength. We're gonna get a lot of strength on this build. And there we complete this. Then we're gonna pick up a level of sorcerer. You could go with bard also if you want to sing some tunes for yourself, and that could definitely work. The thing is, it's a competence bonus on your attack rolls, and there are other ways of getting competence bonuses, so it might not stack on this build. And also you will get a slower progression of your spells. We're not gonna get too many spells, we're gonna get a few spells, so we will get less spells if you pick up bard. So that's the reason I'm going with the regular sorcerer. Then you need a draconic bloodline. You can't go with the other bloodline. Since we are a dragon disciple, you need a draconic bloodline. So you can pick up anything. We can go with the black one. This is cool. Knowledge Arcana 5, and that is it for this level. Oh, we're gonna get some abilities. For abilities, you can go for essentially anything, but keep in mind that the power attack is actually a ability of these dragons, I'm pretty sure. Feats of Draconic Blind. Blind Fight, Great Fortitude, Improved Initiative, and Power Attack. Yes, you will get Power Attack from your Draconic Bloodline, so you don't need to pick up Power Attack from this. You could also have picked it up earlier if you want to, but on unfair difficulty, Power Attack is not as strong as it is on lower difficulties, because it's actually quite quite bad for you to have that minus or that penalty to your attack rating. So you don't need to pick up attack rating or Power Attack here, you can pick it up later. What I would go for is definitely some Iron Will, because that is going to be our weakness on this character. We don't have an amazing will save, and even if we buff up our will save, some bosses in the late game, if they get a good roll on us, they're gonna either kill us or they're gonna charm us. And I have no real way of, in this build, of getting around that. You can still get charmed even though you're buffed up. And then for this thing right here, you can go for anything. I would probably go for Extend Spell, because there are a couple of self buffs that we can cast with this character, so Extend Spell could be nice. You could also go for Combat Casting if you feel like it. Here we're gonna go for enlarged person, and we're gonna go for expeditious retreat. We're still gonna wear heavy armor, so it's gonna be difficult to get spells off in combat. But if you have a couple of enlarged person and a couple of expeditious retreat, you can just spam them until one gets through. I mean, it's just a 30% chance or something to fail, so you're probably gonna get your expeditious retreat and enlarged person off. And enlarged person is gonna get you even more strength, of course, even more strength. So complete this. Now we have enough to go into Dragon Disciple, so we're gonna go 4 levels into Dragon Disciple. And we're gonna pick up more athletics. Now we're done with Knowledge Arcana. We don't need that more than 5. 5 is the requirement to go into Dragon Disciple, and now we don't need more. So now we can go into athletics. And now it's also important that we start picking up dodge, because we need dodge for being able to go, as you can see here on Stalwart Defender. You need to dodge to be able to go into this. So pick up more athletics. And you can see also that our strength increased a little bit here from our Dragon Discipleness. And we're gonna pick up dodge, sorcerer, and here we can pick up power attack, and we can get that from our dragon feats. It's quite nice. You can also pick it up Dragon Disciple, 1 more level, and more strength. More athletics. Here doesn't really matter what to pick up. Shield is pretty good because we're not going to use a shield on this guy, so it's pretty nice to have a shield bonus also. Get a little bit higher AC. And Dragon Disciple. This will be our last level of Dragon Disciple. More athletics. Now we have 26 strength, which is quite nice. Even before our buffs. And let's see here. Here on this level, I would probably go for improved Iron Will. As I said, our will save is our weakness, and even though we're gonna pump a couple of attributes in it, or what's called abilities into it, it's still not gonna be amazing. I think Mirror Image is a nice self buff to have there also. Because remember, we're not gonna be able to cast much in combat. We're gonna cast pre-combat and then run into combat, and hopefully the buffs will last the entire combat. Now we're also going to pick up 1 level of Barbarian, because as you can see, we are not able to yet go into Stalwart Defender. It says that we have base attacks bonus 7 here, but this is just because I've marked Barbarian that we have. Some kind of bug. Display bug. Don't mind that. More athletics. And here we're going to go into, let's see, Reckless Stance. Reckless Stance gives you a plus bonus on attack rolls when we are raging, which is quite nice, so we have an even higher attack roll. So pick that up. And now we can finally go into Stalwart Defender, and that's gonna be where we dump all our levels into. So Stalwart Defender, Stalwart Defender, Stalwart Defender. Quite easy. Pick up... no, not Arcana. Pick up Athletics. Everything is gonna go into Athletics now. Gonna be quite simple. And here I would probably start worrying about improved critical and stuff like that. Choose any type of weapon. When using that weapon, your threat range is increased. So if you're using a Keen Falcon, which we're gonna use on this build, we're gonna crit on a 15 to 20, which is quite likely. It's 1 in 4 crits, so you're gonna crit very, very often with this build, which I like. I like critting. Only for ×2 the damage though, but still something. And then more Stalwart Defender. And now we also have access to the Stalwart... I keep living there. The Stalwart Defender post that you can go into. And according to the official rules, you can't really go into both Rage and the defensive stance. Both gives you an attack bonus, and you can't go into both at the same time. But in this game you can, and it's a bug. So here you can pick up anything. Doesn't really matter. Smash. Get another extra attack from time to time. Noise. Stalwart Defender. Stalwart Defender also has the added benefit that they have a D12 hit die, which is quite substantial. So you're gonna get a lot of HP from picking up this class. And you're gonna get attack bonus 1 per level, of course. And you're gonna get your attack bonus from your defensive stances. So it's quite a nice subclass, I think. Other things we can pick up here. We can pick up, let's see, we have weapon focus, we have improved sneak attack. I would probably go for improved fortitude. Where's that? Greater fortitude. There it is. Great Fortitude. Fortitude save is one of the most important saves in the game. If you don't have a good enough Fortitude save, you're gonna die. As you may, if you see the last fight, if you stay to the last fight, where I kill off Nerissa, you're gonna see that she casts Wail of the Banshee, and she casts Wail of the Banshee, and if you don't have a Fortitude save, which is insanely high, I think the DC of her Wail of the Banshee is something like, I don't know, 45 or something. We're gonna have something like a 44 when we're buffed on her Fortitude save, so we're gonna be fine. But if you don't have a very high save, you'll die immediately, because that spell deals 400 damage on unfair difficulty. So that's very, very dangerous. More of this then. Athletics. Wink. Doesn't matter too much. We can go Fearless Defense. Fearless Defense makes it so that when you're in your defense stance, you can get frightened, which is nice, I guess. Decent. More Athletics. Whoop. And for our abilities, as I said, you're kind of free. Well, if you want to do some other abilities here, if you're more interested in an active playstyle, if you want to use some active abilities, then go ahead and do that. I just like being very passive. Buff your character up and then just go in. Just kill him, I say, and then at some point finish them up. We're gonna go into what I like is going. Is it improved Great Fortitude? A simple ability. Simple. More stats, and more stats. That's what I like. More Stalwart Defender. And more athletics and more strength. We're up to 28 now. Respectable, would say. And sure, increased damage now. So, here we have our completed strength monster. Now, one of the more important items I feel like to pick up on this character is the Heart of Ira. You can pick up this in Varnhold, and it gives you immune to fatigue and exhaustion, which is very, very good on a Barbarian, but also it's very good on this character because we have Stalwart Defender, and when you go out of a defensive stance, you will also get fatigued, and you won't be able to go into a defensive stance again. So, if you can remove that thing because you can't get fatigued or exhausted, it's insane. It's insanely good. So this is one of the more important pieces on this character. Another important piece is, of course, getting a belt which has a lot of strength. I've been identified by this belt, but it gives you +8 strength, as you can see here. Enhancement bonus +8. And keep in mind that this is an enhancement bonus that you get from items, so you can't have like bull's strength or anything. It won't stack with your belt. And this is a very, very good belt, by the way. All the items that I have now on this character is late game items. This is what you should have before you get to the last boss. We're level 16 and all. And getting a cloak which gives some stats here. Keep in mind that we're now standing in the Guarded Hearth, which we get from the greatest buffer I think in the game, which we're going to talk about in the next video. So we're quite buffed up here, so our stats are a little bit inflated more than they will usually be. But if you have a very great buffer like that, or if you pick up that exact character, which I would definitely recommend to have these two alongside each other, then you will have something like this in the end game. Other items are not really important. I just put things on here. I have a very nice plate armor, as you can see. We have a +14 from our full plate. Our AC is not amazing, but that's not really the goal of this build. We can get higher AC. We can get to high ACs where our opponents can't even hit us. We can do that with builds also. We're probably gonna post a build like that where we get to such high AC that nothing in the game can hit us anymore. But that's not really the goal for this guy. The goal for this guy is to hit hard and to hit everything. To not have to miss all the time and to have an insanely high strength bonus, which gives a lot of damage. Because we have 43 to 53 damage. This is of course increased because we have power attack on. If you don't have power attack on, it will go down significantly. But it's very, very high, and we also have a critical modifier on 15 to 20. This is because both we have improved critical and we are wearing a Keen Falcon +5, which of course makes our attack rating insanely high. Here you can't really see all the attack rating though. You can't see our rage. We're not really in rage right now, and you can't see our defensive stance bonus. There's a couple of bonuses which are not calculated here. But as you saw, we can get up to 57, we can get up to 64 something with buffs and everything if we feel like it. So we can essentially hit anything in the game. There's nothing which will have... The highest we'll be up against is 69, and that's Nerissa with the Sea Mantle casted on her. And we can hit that with ease with this character, so it's not a problem. Then for strength, we already talked about it briefly. We get +2 from Modulus, we get +4 from our Dragon Disciple, 2 from our Enlarged Person, which we can cast ourselves, 8 from the belt. It's a very good belt, mind you, and a +4 alchemical bonus, which comes from the fact that we are also a vivisectionist. So that is pretty much it for this character. Yeah, if you want to see how to create the buffer, which kind of enables this character in a way. I mean, this character is still good without him, but he's even better when you have this buff character. Then check out the video that's gonna come out soon about that great buffer. Yeah, that's pretty much my guide.
This should do it.
Die, die, die!
Left yourself open.